Hello there. This is Sylvie Anchor, and you're watching Silver Anchor. And this is another episode of Study Sunday, where I'm completing a page to put inside my Grimoire, or Book of Silver, as I call it. Some of you may call it a Book of Shadows or a witchy bullet journal. I keep mine in a 3-ring binder with sheet protectors so I can keep changing the order around or just randomly make a page. That's what I've been doing, is just whatever I feel like doing a page on or whatever's jumping up. I thought I was going to do a different planet first. I was going to do Venus, but Jupiter said, no, I'm first. And it makes a lot of sense. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. It is by far much bigger than everything else put together. He could have been a sun, right, in another solar system. And there are some theories about that Jupiter rolled in here with a bunch of planets attached to him. I mean, it's almost like he has his own system. There are 79 moons that have been counted orbiting Jupiter. So, not only a planet, but also a Roman god. And in Latin, they pronounced it Jupiter. So the J's weren't really in Rome. They didn't have them. It came later in Romantic languages. And you notice, like in some of them, like say Spanish, don't pronounce the J's with that sound. So they didn't have that sound in Rome. So it was pronounced Jupiter Optimus Maximus. Jupiter, the best and the greatest. The Romans held them as their most important god. They believed it really gave them strength and power. So they made him like their patron for the city of Rome. Just like in Greece, they had Athena. It's the same thing. Well, different because they're having the father god here. The word Jupiter, so the Pater, right, father, and then the Eup, I guess the Io is for sky. So it literally translates to sky father. Lightning and thunder, right? Well, they didn't know lightning caused thunder. So it's thunder and sky. But when you look at the giant sky, like that is Jupiter's realm. And right now I'm drawing the Kabbalah Tree of Life. You may be familiar with this symbol. It comes from Hebrew tradition, but it is well used in the magic community. And if it's really unfamiliar to you, I can tell you the source I got familiar with it, I really enjoyed reading. It's by Alan Moore. He's the same one who wrote V for Vendetta. It's a graphic novel called Promethea. I'll leave a link to Amazon. I'm not affiliated or nothing, but it's just a really good series. And the later books go into the Sephiroth. So that's each circle there is a different area, and they're each associated with a different planet. And I really liked the way they introduced all of the topics in the book in kind of a story. So it was very enjoyable. It's definitely adult reading, but any book about magic, I think, would be. So the Sephiroth associated with Jupiter is Hest, and people pronounce it differently. It rhymes with blessed. So if you say blessed, you could say Hesed or Hest, right? It translates to mercy. And you'll hear it quoted a lot. It does come up in the Bible. It is an old Hebrew word. So mercy is the zone, right, named for Jupiter. And he is a generous, that whole area is about generosity, benevolence, love. It's a peaceful place to be, kindness, grace. And so we start to see some of these words associated with Jupiter. Prosperity is a big one. Think about it. This is the largest planet. By Jove. I wanted to point that one out. In conjugating Latin words, you conjugate the nouns too. So Jove is actually the same as Jupiter, just in it's a different form. So people would use it because they didn't want to take the Lord's name in vain. They would say by Jove instead. So look at that. The ink work's already done. Time to erase everything. Wasn't that magical? And everything was so misaligned, but I just took my time off camera. And here I've got some watercolor Prismacolor pencils, And I've got a little water brush. It's an interesting medium. I am not always patient enough to use a colored pencil. They're really fun to blend, but they do take several layers in order to get a good smooth surface. I'm not always patient enough, but I did want to make a nice blended Jupiter. It's interesting looking at it. It's completely made out of gas. It's helium and hydrogen. Really, it's the same thing as a sun. And in another system, it would be a sun completely. And there's some theories that he used to be, that our solar system's even older than you may think it is. So this brush contains water in the little capsule. So it's just activating the pigment, because these pencils are for watercolor. And I'm just going back and forth between drying. I'm not using it on the word. You can see the blue letters there. Because it's so tiny, I just had to use a sharp pencil and blend and blend and blend. It took about 4 layers to get the Jupiter word where I wanted it to be. And I try to do a little bit of a gradient with a deeper blue on the bottom. Hey, get out of here, cat. So the most important to Rome, I was trying to remember what color is associated with Hest. I think it's yellow. Don't quote me on it. I also wrote the word in orange, just in case. I wasn't quite sure. I know it's not red, because the one with Mars is red. So Optimus Maximus translate to the best, the greatest. If you ever wondered about Optimus, it's the best. It's optimal, right? And Jupiter is the highest god in the Roman pantheon. You don't get any higher than that. And he's benevolent. That's the best thing. Is he's masculine, but he's also, look at that, generous, prosperity, good fortune. It's a good god to work with symbolically and in your astrological chart. So we've been talking about those. And where you see Jupiter is an area of growth and expansion. It's a place in your life where you can see that prosperity coming to you. So it depends on what house Jupiter is in for you right now, whether you're growing money, like you might be thinking, but it could be in home and friends, in work environment. You can expand in lots of different areas. You can expand spiritually. So there's a symbol, always reminds me of a 4, but curlier. The associated zodiac symbol is Sagittarius, has Jupiter as its ruling planet. And yeah, I love that pen for just quickly getting bold color without having to layer and layer and layer. So thank you so much for watching. This has been Jupiter on Study Sunday. If you liked what you saw, please give me a like down below. Your thumbs up mean a lot. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate you watching. This has been Silver Anchor. Have a good day.